Okay, party people, we back in effect. This is Mass Effect. This is Mudu, and this is my girl Jovetta. We have a new topic today that we're gonna address. This is definitely Jovetta's place of conversation because I don't know too much about it, but I'm gonna try to chime in on what I know about the historical value, and it's about natural hair, organic hair, wearing your hair in its natural state or what you do to have that natural look. This is Mass Effect, and Jovetta's gonna tell us how the effect of the outside world has affected the masses of people of color and what they've done with their hair, and also how we have affected the masses with our hair, which was hated and talked about and also copied and envied and also demonized because they couldn't do the things that we could do, like the sculpture and stuff with our hair. So we're gonna get right into the topic, and we're gonna talk about the evolution of it. And I just want to start off by saying, Jovetta, that in my research, I didn't know that the mistresses, the white slave mistresses on the plantation, would make the sisters cut off their hair because it was confusing to them. It bothered them, or whatever the case might be, but they didn't like them having their hair braided or plaited, and sometimes they make them cut it real short, like the guys. We know about the waves of black hair, Madam C.J. Walker and what she did.
Our hair has been just the topic and cornerstone of all kinds of things in New Orleans and Louisiana, where my family is from.
Like Madam C.J. Walker,
which I just found out. We were made to wrap our hair like it's just
tell
to
us
cover
about that historical thing in Louisiana with the wrapping of the hair.
The tagnon. It was for several reasons. It's because some women could pass for white, so in order to identify a woman of color who was light enough to pass for white, she would have to wrap her hair. It wasn't only for the women who could pass, it was across the spectrum from medium complected to chocolate complected and coarser hair. They had to wrap their hair because their hair, the statement or the look of their hair made people feel uncomfortable. So we had to cover our hair, and then, like you said, we can do anything to our hair. We can straighten it, we can not straighten, we can wear locks, we can wear braids, we can do anything to our hair. But we're like, our hair is demonized, and it's very interesting that they want to do what we do.
So Jovetta, as somebody who actually grew up with natural, I've always had natural hair. I never had a jerry curl. I had an electric pick one time. I don't know if you ever know about those, where you could plug them up and you could pick out, looking like buckwheat or farina, stuck his head finger in the socket. So I had that back in the day. But Jovetta, tell me about your experience in the contention, the struggle that the black woman went through, as you said, with the hair and the perception of hair.
Well, it's very layered. I was one of those children. My mother never permed my hair. I had a very pro-African mother who was like, no, it comes out your scalp the way it's supposed to be. So she never allowed me to get a perm. But to piggyback off what you said yesterday, or what our conversation yesterday, there is great strides in the spaces that I'm in. I'll take a scan or I'll look around, and there's more women of color wearing their natural hair more than ever. And you brought up the wig or weave thing that you have taken note of, and you'll be surprised. There's a lot of black women that underneath those wigs and those weaves, they have natural hair, very natural, beautiful, healthy hair.
Now you said that,
but wearing weaves is like wearing a coat. It's like wearing a jacket. It's a style. It's not necessarily self-hate or them trying to be white or trying to. I know that's the way you feel. And I've never had a weave. And that's not I've never had a weave, and I've never worn a weave, and I've never worn a wig. But I don't look at sisters who do wear weaves or wigs in a different way, because I do understand that weaves and wigs is a style. They're not trying to be white. They're not trying to be white. They're not trying to. They're not.
You can say that for all of them, though.
Oh, I can't. Well, let's just put this on the table. Statement. We cannot speak for every single person.
That's right.
But I'm talking about the majority of black women. Even when black women straighten their hair, they're not trying to be white. They are not trying to be white.
What are they trying to do?
I've flat ironed my hair on 150 million occasions. And I am the blackest of black women. You know how black I am.
That's right.
I'm blacker than black. Butter. You know. Okay.
She does not like that term, folks.
Anyway, I'm blacker than black. You know what I'm saying? And I was raised that way, and I feel that way to my bone. And I've flat ironed my hair before, not to look like a white girl. Like, black men don't understand. I think black women, and this is not true for all black women, this is uniquely true for women of color in the diaspora. Our hair, and I'm saying that because this is not true for women in Africa. This is true for women of color in America and in South America. Our hair has been a subject of stress and a subject of judgment since. Like, I don't think anybody outside of the diaspora can understand the stress that a black woman has to go to and through about her hair, coming from black men, coming from the world outside of our culture, just coming from every which way, from within our culture. If our hair is too curly, too straight, too coarse, too, it's always something wrong with our hair. Our hair, people don't, it's not that they like or dislike the way our hair look or how our hair naturally comes out of our scalp. It's more so our hair makes them uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And I have my theory, because we're special. It is no other living thing on the planet, race of people, that have hair like ours.
Parts of Africa that the hair was also part of sculpture. It was part of messages that were sent, because the crown of the head spoke to the gods, because they felt the gods could look down. So there were messages in the designs of the hair that they would put in. And I don't know if you've all heard those stories about how sometimes they would put maps in the girls' hair when they braided them during slavery time, because that was the map to escape, since people couldn't read, but they could read in the hair design. And you've seen what can be done with some braids. I mean, I've seen some things and I'm like, yo, this sister needs to practice geometry or something. She could have been an architect or something like that, because they can do so many things. Our hair can be sculpted. That's the one thing that always amazed me about the fact that women have this thing about their hair being flat and being just to stay down, and it's not being frizzy, and the wind's not blowing it all over the place.
But we've been trained to hate ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? That has a lot to do with self-hatred. Wow. You just made me admit it. Shut up. Look, no, not every woman that's straightening their hair hate themselves.
Okay.
It's not every woman that's straightening their hair.
No. There's multiple reasons.
It's layered.
You ever looked at
it's
Chris
very
Rock's
layered. It's very
2009
layered.
movie, I think it was, called Good Hair?
Good Hair, yeah.
He gave a myriad. There are definitely multiple reasons as to why women do with their hair. But even if you went way back into Africa, and remember, Africa is a continent where there's multiple textures of hair and multiple kinds of things they do with their hair, you will realize that we just get nice with our style, and sometimes we just like to freak the style. And so when you see a young girl with blue hair one day, then red hair the next day, and she got a short crop the next day, and she got a bang the next day.
It's very African of her to do that.
It's very, very African. That's just what we do. Taking care of it now, that's the most important thing. You can't be looking all natty and ratty. That's where I got the problem.
Anyway, I was explaining to my beautiful friend that a lot of women get their hair or do their hair a particular way to attract either the opposite sex or the same sex, whatever you into. But right now I'm talking about the opposite sex men. A lot of times I was explaining to him when I was younger, I would go into spaces and guys, I've had guys tell me that I would look good if I did something to my hair. Or, wow. Yeah. And this is when I was wearing locks and afros and braids and stuff. If I did something to my hair, which I thought something was done to it, but they would tell me I would look so much better. Or, you find that when you go into spaces, Black guys go after women who have a certain look. That certain look is the weave girl, like the girl with the lace front, with the weave, or with the, they go for those type of women more than they go for natural women. So it's kind of for a woman, for a straight woman who is interested in going out to date or to even mingle, or even, women like to be hit on or pay, attention to or complimented. So when you go into a space and you see all the girls who either are mixed with big curly hair or light skin or, weave and hair and all, because anyway, it's a certain look that Black guys go after. So you find a lot of women, they hone in on what that look is, and then they try to recreate that look on themselves. So I was explaining to Mr. Moon that, Black men kind of have to take a little responsibility as well.
Mass Effect,